Okay, so here also you will get one question. So question is not connected. Okay, so we created document type. From document type we did so far. So we can select XML document type also. Okay, here connect. Okay, so I'm going here, same location. Here doc. Here I'm creating using XML document type. We say this one XML document type. So I'll select. Okay, Centra site, you know, we already discussed yesterday, but Centra site is one of the server where you can store schemas. Okay, we don't have Centra site now because it's a licensed application. So we are not going to use Centra site. So we will go with a file, our local folder. This is viewer request. Okay, then finish. So if you see that, what is happening is here everything I created only in the same
separate files.
Yeah, let me create a folder so it's easy to understand. Underscore XML doc type. Inside this folder I will create again same new XML document type. Next file, selecting viewer request schema, finish. So if you see here inside this one, so this one is a schema created. This is my doc type. It's also creating a doc type for that. But what is happening is all the elements, complex types, global elements, everything is created individually here. Okay, so the viewer request, it's an element, contains viewer request type, separately is created. Viewer request type contains order ID, everything. And if you go to the items, it contains only 3 products. System type, it contains all separate.
Okay.
Okay, so here also we can, once we created, we need to use this only. This again, this doc type only we have to use in our request response, not the schema. Okay, so let's say if I go to the flow services, any flow service, if you create flow service, that's a flow service to empty flow service. Here input output, this viewer request only because it's a doc type. Again, you have to use that. Okay, so we can use XML like this also. From we can generate doc type from XML document type. Okay, so what is the advantage of using this XML document type? Everyone says use XML document type. Okay, if you have attributes, this is the question will come, when to use XML document type. Okay, this statement you see, XML document types which corresponds to a global element declaration, global attribute declaration, global complex type definition in an XML schema definition. At that time we will use XML document type. Are you getting? So I will give the question by what is what do we call, what are the options will be available, but
explain the definitions sir once again.
Yeah, I will give the definitions also. XML document type with when to use. Okay, that I will give you a little bit separate notes on that. Okay, but you should know, like, this is XML document type also available where we can create from the schema, we can create a XML document types. Okay, basically here creating XML document from an XML, what will happen is XML document type named derived from the root element in the schema. Okay, folder for each namespace. If you have namespaces are there, it creates a folder for complex types and elements. Okay, so here this one, from this also you will get one question. So when you creating XML document from XML schema, what are the folders will be created? Okay, or like this one is not created. Choose the one which is incorrect.
Okay.
We'll ask like creating XML document from XML schema. When we create XML document from XML schema, choose the one which is not correct from the below options. Okay. They will give like an XML document type derived from root element schema. So we know XML document type is created from the root element. Folder for each namespace. It creates folder for each namespace. Folder for complex types and elements. It will given, and some other they will give. Maybe it is not correct. Okay. So you need to remember this. Okay. So this also. So XML document type, standard IS document type. How to create XML document type and standard document type. Okay. When to create, when to use XML document type. Okay. So this question is asked me. Okay. They ask like, create an XML document type. What is the advantage of creating XML document type? Okay. So this question, improved XML namespacing handling. When we create XML document type, right? So we know how to create, how to use it. Okay. Every time if you have a schema, right, we always go with the XML document type only.
Yes.
In our code. Okay. We will not go with the doc type if we have a XML schema. If we can able to create a schema. Okay.
Okay, sir.
But for small things, we will directly go and create a document type manually, like number list. Small things we did, right? Those will create number from manually. But otherwise, like if one application communicating with other application, in those kind of use cases, we always create a schema first, so that we can give that schema to the sender. So they will send XML in the defined format in the XSD. Okay. So at that time, XML document type only we will create.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So when we use XML document type, it improved namespacing handling will be handled. So namespace, whatever the namespaces are there, each element will have that namespace. So no name collision will be avoided. Okay. Nested and repeating group model group supports. Any attribute supports. Attributes, if you have in the schema, we'll come back. XSD, I don't think you know attributes, but I will later explain what is XSD in attributes in the XSD. Okay. So I think 3 questions will come from here. Okay. One is this one, XML document, improved XML namespacing. This is one question will come here. This one, XML document
folders.
Yes, this one will come. And the first one we know like what are the different ways we can create. This one, non-XML document type, non-XML DTD, XML schema, JSON. This is one. Okay, and that iData type. 4 questions. Okay.
Yeah.
Why we are focusing this? We know how to use it. Okay, now how to create, how to use it, we know. But we need to focus on this point so that we can clear the exam. Okay. Okay. Now, let us say I will explain how to insert record into database. Okay. So that you can also do how we can use, how can we create and we can use it. Okay. Let me create a simple, instead of going all this complex one, I will create a simple table. You guys also create simple table. I think you already created, right?
Yes, sir.
So, okay. So I will delete all those things. Schema. Okay, so from schema, doc type is created. Okay, we will use, oh, everything is deleted. Okay, let me delete these two also. Again, let me create from schema. Okay, doc type from schema. This is PO. I think you already have this one. Everyone is created already, imported also. Okay, and created doc type. This one is created, right? Everyone? Or you can delete everything and just do what I did now. So now I will create first, instead of we'll create service also. Okay, let's create a service. Service name is purchase order. Service. Okay. Next, create empty flow. Created everyone so far. At input output tab, I'm selecting the schema, which is pure request. Okay, drag and drop. So that I can get this structure. Okay. What I will do, I'm doing is I'm creating one table. We already created, but I'll create a simple table, not with every field. I'll try to insert these fields: order ID, tracking ID. That's it. Okay. Yeah, you already have tables. So I will explain how to insert into tables so that you can do rest of the things, because you already have tables. Okay, got it? Right? So I'm giving you like how to insert, when I call the order request, how to insert that order into order table. So you can extend to other details like customer table. You can insert into customer data. Product table, you insert into product, like that. Where
Our order is one key.
keyword, right? Okay. Orders keyword. Orders. I can give you orders. Where of 20. Sorry, name ID.
So our data type ID.
ID. Okay, right? What else is there? Tracking number.
Tracking ID.
Yeah, I
Order
can give
type.
order ID, but just given different one. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Where of 20. I just given these two. Let's say order date is there. Okay, you can add it. Customer is a separate table. Items are separate table. Okay. I created first table. Created. Okay. Let me create items also. Create table that is called products. Okay. We have products, product ID.
Quantity.
quantity also you can varchar, but you can take integer and just see whatever you taken. Okay, so I created these two tables. Now I wanted to insert it order with order details, like order ID, tracking ID into order table, and I wanted to iterate items. I wanted to loop because items are repetitive element, right? So I want to iterate and insert that records into product table. Correct? So we'll do those two now. So for that, first we got the request here and we'll go to the tree. Here I need to add database inserts. But before that, we'll create one folder called adapter. I think we did, right? Adapter. Everyone got, right? Then I will create what is that adapter service. First adapter service, insert a create order. Are you getting what I am doing? Exactly the one we did on the adapter services to query, joins tables. I think you remember joining the table.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So that is what I am doing now here. Adapter service. JDBC, we already created database connection. You know the document how we created JDBC drivers installed. Okay.
Yes, sir.
This you already know. So now I'm inserting insert SQL. Okay. I will select that one. Okay. Which I wanted to insert. So we have two columns. I'm selecting input is ID. These are the field names. Okay. Question mark is there. No. All the columns are selected. Okay. Result. If it is inserted, I need 1, 2, 3 numbers. So result is my value to know if it is inserted or not. Everyone got it this one so far? Any questions here? Sudha, sorry, Anusha.
No, sir.
Okay, so created adapter service at least and selected insert template.
Yes, doing.
Okay, so you have to remember this one when you create adapter services, right? What are the templates available?
Okay.
Okay, again, basically you can remember select, we know select,
Select,
update,
update,
insert.
delete.
So these three, delete, 4, right? For first
Yes.
three, we'll add a bulk also. Batch insert, batch update. Okay. And store procedures already. Store procedure with signature. This will be extra. Okay. Store procedure. So executive services and custom template. Executive, forget about executive. Custom SQL. This is very important. Okay. So you can remember a little bit. It's not
Oh,
that complex. Okay. Or whenever you open any templates, so see what are there. That's it. Okay. So I added result here. Some field you can add it any field. You have done right so far. This also we can test it right. Instead of going through the services, I can test here only. We know like input output. We can right click here, run as service. Right. Okay.
yes, sir.
Okay. We can do like this. But what I am trying to do is, I know this purchase order. I'm getting the purchase order with the PO request and everything. This request. In the tree, what I will do, I will call this creates order, drag and drop. Okay, or invoke service. You can select like this, or I'm deleting here, save it from invoke also. You can click invoke and select adapter service. Are you getting this one? To understand clearly, this is my purchase order service. From purchase order service, I'm calling database service, adapter service, so that I can insert data into database. Are you getting this one? Or any questions here? Now I need to go to pipeline. I selected this pipeline. So I know my actual pipeline input is order ID, tracking ID. Okay. And this create order expecting those two fields, ID, tracking ID. So order ID, I mapped it to tracking ID. ID. Tracking ID, I mapped to tracking ID. Is that clear? What I did? Okay. Now this one is done. We'll test this one, whether I'm able to insert the record or not into database first. Then we'll go and add items. Okay. Now I'm right click this one, flow service. Can everyone do the same? Mapping, everything is done. I will give 111 223 is a tracking number. Order date is an optional. I can leave it. Okay. Customer ID is optional. I can leave it. Name, house number 123, city HYD, state TS, something a given product ID. So because these are mandatory, right? So okay, item. So this item, right? I need to click on here, add row, then it becomes allows us to add. Have you done this one so far? Okay, custom, 1 second. Let me save first because I wanted to save so I can use it later for testing. Test, I'll save it. Okay. Let me come back. Okay. So what I did is, right, whichever you can map order. This is the tracking order ID mapped to ID. Tracking ID is mapped to tracking ID. So it's a map. I'm using the word mapping. Okay. We are mapping. Right. So we can go and run also, right? We can select this one. Purchase order, run as flow service, purchase order. I saved it. I can load and replace from the desktop test I used. Saved test and load. Okay. Enter the data. Can you enter the data? I can add more items also. Done, right? So I'm okay. Everyone is done. Jashwant, Nagaraju, Sai Teja, Sairam, Anusha.
Yes, sir. I'm entering valid, sir.
Okay. Anusha, what about you?
Yes, sir. Doing, sir.
I'm testing now. What I'm doing is just click OK so that this flow service will execute and the first create order will be executed. Just checking like if it is in setting or not. Okay. For me, see, create order, output result is 1. 1 in the sense it is inserted.